All right, everybody. Good morning and
Well,
welcome to the Cafe
good
with
morning.
where Jason and I share your daily astrology, human design, and tarot energy report. And wow, we have a doozy this morning.
Yeah, we do.
Wow, how the mighty have fallen. And they continue to fall one after the other. And, not that I'm treating this with glee, because I'm really not. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, this has been a pattern that's been ongoing, and I'm speaking about for people who are just joining us and not understanding what the hell I'm talking about. I'm talking about the fact that Matt Lauer has lost his job with NBC after what appears to be allegations of sexual abuse or molesting, assault. I don't know exactly what it was, but misconduct, let's just say, with an employee there at the studio. So all I can say is how fast the mighty have fallen. And I remember a few years back when he made it part of his renewal contract that he would not work with Ann Curry, who, as far as I was concerned, was a lovely woman who was doing great work on the show. And I used to be an avid Today Show watcher. And at that moment, I quit watching the Today Show along with a lot of other Americans, and then watched their ratings plummet below that of Good Morning America. And I was thinking to myself, if you're going to go with the man and watch your things happen like this, then you guys deserve to have your ratings go down. And never suspecting that there was anything else going on, with the guy. So here we go. We have this sort of energy rolling for people paying the piper. Saturn. This is Saturn, pure and simple, right? This is Saturn saying,
Sing
acting
it,
in the
sister.
role of Punisher.
Sing it, sister. Sing it. I remember it was like 1 or 2 months ago, and of course, I'm not the astrologist, but you were talking about hidden sectors. It was everything from the 12th house of Pluto and Pisces to Uranus, and you're like, mark my words, you're going to hear it first here today. Well, if we actually went back, folks, you would see that, in fact, what Janet had predicted has come to fruition, has come to light. And I'm going to go further by saying the coming forth of these individuals is only going to be sort of supported, and it will be far easier to elicit this kind of information from people who have been abused. However, I'm going to say it right here, right now. I cannot wait, because it's out there. I know for a fact. I've been on a casting couch more than once. I cannot wait when they nab a woman, and then we crucify her too, and we'll see what kind of judgment we get. More judgment off men. Is it okay for men to be fat, ugly, bald? Get it? Double standard. But it's not okay for a woman, a maternity figure, a maternal figure, to be inappropriate. So I can't wait until this shit hits the fan, because it will, and it'll hit in both directions. And then the people that we think were so wonderful, women, which is even more mind-blowing, will come to light, because it doesn't just happen in one direction.
No shit. But it doesn't happen to the extent and for the amount of time that this has been going on, directed at women from men.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely.
Where sex is being used as a weapon, or sex is being used as a way to achieve success in the field that they've chosen, whether it's politics,
whatever,
or the news world. What I find really interesting, and this is what really pisses me off, last year when we elected a president who felt like it was okay on air to say he grabs pussy, and he hasn't been brought to task for that. And now he's backpedaling, questioning whether that was even a real thing.
When I heard his tweet, sweetheart, this morning,
oh God!
First of all, there has got to be a congressional act disallowing presidents to use this form of communication. And if so, it needs to go through a fucking director to make sure it is tweaked properly, because I gotta tell you, when I saw that bullshit that he wrote, his biggest response was, well, the parent company who dismissed him, they should be fired for fake news. He's still on fake news bullshit.
He practices reflection, and he practices, let's change, let's look over here so I can keep doing what I'm doing over here. It's unconscionable. It is ridiculous that in this day and age we allow this to happen. And why isn't it that the president hasn't been called to task? They certainly didn't waste any time impeaching President Clinton when the whole Monica Lewinsky thing showed up. So why are we not acting on this president? That's what really pisses me off. But here's the really good news. And here's the thing that I see so empowering. Finally, women, you've gotten your shit together and you've said, I am done with this. We are done.
Enough.
Enough is enough. Now, let's take that formidable power that women have and let's put it toward, it's enough that our kids go to bed at night hungry. If even one child in this country goes to bed at night hungry, we need to
We failed. We failed.
If we can fix this problem, we can fix hunger, we can fix homelessness, we can fix anything. And I think here's the part that really titillates me, to use one of your words, is that I have always said that a people, a tribe, a community, a family is only as strong as their weakest link. For the longest time, women have been treated as this weak link, but they aren't. They're the strength, they're the backbone, they're the underpinnings of our society. And if we can begin to now look at them as a power, a force to be reckoned with, then we can really set about to fix the weak links, which are our children, which are our homeless people, which are our mentally ill people. I'm up on my fucking soapbox and I'm so sorry, but I gotta say it, right? Women, look at what you're doing. And men, look at what we can achieve. Let's band together and let's fix some of these bigger problems, right? You know, with a Million Woman March or whatever it was when they marched on Washington, was nothing compared to what we can do, right? We outnumber the men in this country, 51% to 50-some%. So I think the time is coming. I think the rebellion and the revolution that we've been waiting for starts with women. Swear to God, women, because of the goddess Eris sitting in the sign of Aries, which is extraordinarily masculine and disruptive. And I was going to bring this up this morning anyway, is that the Black Moon Lilith, remember we talked about the fact she changed signs. Let's see, when was that? She changed signs just a few weeks ago, maybe even just 2 weeks ago now. And she moved into the sign of Capricorn. And in Capricorn, that's Saturn's territory. Saturn is the punisher that brings all this stuff up and mets out reward or punishment, depending on, how you've been playing the game. And the Black Moon Lilith in Capricorn is the shadow of control. And because sex has been used as a measure of control and how to control women, how to allow them to get to the top, and if what you're saying is true, and I believe it probably is, that women in some way have used this as well, it is time to level that playing field. And that's what we're seeing, one by one, these things crashing down. I don't know how long it's going to take before the president has to crash. I don't think it's going to be anything to do with anything else that we think it's going to be, Robert Mueller's investigation or anything like that. I think the pressure is going to be on him now because of what's gone on here with Matt Lauer. Not because Matt's special in any way, but he, I'm sure, felt very much like the president, untouchable. So
yeah. It's,
so I gotta kind of giggle.
Yeah, well, I have to say too, just on a metaphysical note to everybody out there, while I've known gay men who have tormented straight men on the casting couch, while I have known women who, I can give you names, and they're out there, and it'll become revealed. Women who have abused it in the same way. But let me tell you why. The two reasons you don't hear it very much, since you're off the soapbox for a second. How does a guy get raped? How is a guy sexually harassed? Because we're the ones that do the fucking, unless some woman is strapping it on. The fact of the matter is that if it's known that a guy
No. Yes, Michelle, this morning it was announced on the Today Show that Matt Lauer was fired from his job at NBC for sexual misconduct. and that no details were released, but he had been apparently in a relationship or doing something to a colleague, and so he lost his job because of it. And it looks like we're going to have Jason join us in the same way he did yesterday. Let's see if I can call Jasonian. Oh, God, I can't do it from Messenger. I got to do it from FaceTime. Because I think yesterday he said it wouldn't allow him to come back in, and my phone's probably going to die, so we have to make this quick. So this morning, guys, the moon is moved into the sign of Aries. And so, of course, the moon is starting to trigger all of this watershed stuff, as it is in a trine now with the planet Saturn, or at least closing in on a trine. Remember, a trine is an ease and flow of information going back and forth. And I think he thinks he must still be online. Okay, well, let's hope he joins us in a minute or so. At any rate, so the moon is, dredging things up. In Aries, it's ruled by the planet Mars, and Mars is in the relationship-oriented sign of Libra, opposing Uranus and Eris. So we have, this is like poetry in motion almost, right? From the elegance of some of the things that are happening in the stars and how it's being reflected down here on the earth. And not that I ever want to see people fall but I do believe in consequences for actions that you're taking. And if they're actions that are hurting other people, then you absolutely must have consequences. And for too long, there have been no consequences for these people in power doing what they've been doing. Here's my Jason. Hello. Wow, he can't even connect on. Jason, hello. Well, it says that he's there, but he's not yet. Anyway, so for the short term, we have some really, there he is. There's the J. Something must be going on with your phone, kiddo.
No, Mama. I'm just sitting here doing everything I do the exact same way, and this is the second day in a row where all of a sudden in the middle of broadcast, I freeze. I'm talking, and I'm like, uh-oh.
Yep.
Anyway, so the long and the short of it is when the Emperor card goes bad, which is the first instinct of the incarnation, by where we want to continue the species and continue our own growth, when it goes sideways from fear, when it goes sideways, we get the Emperor gone bad. Emperor gone bad would be Trump, would be Lauer, would be anybody who has used his loins inappropriately.
Yeah.
There is something else that kind of, just absolutely blew me away. Oh, this is funny. I'm looking into the thing, and I can see you on the screen and me in the little box. This is just crazy. Okay. The shit we do, Janet. Okay. Anyway. I'm just thinking here, going live to get any more professional. So, I don't know whether you have it, and it stopped me in my tracks, but there was some guy who's just an everyday Joe, that they've done this infomercial kind of a thing, this long extended commercial about impeaching President Trump. Have you seen this?
No. How did I miss this?
There is an advertisement. I was literally cleaning and frittering around the house, and I stopped dead in my tracks, and they picked a normal person, an everyday person who is well-spoken, and he goes off about the fact that this man is unable to rule our country. This man is mentally unhealthy. It's quite like what, and so I think there's an org like impeach.trump.org or something like that. And I thought, well, I wonder how many people this man has paid off, and it's taking this long to get this stuff done.
Yeah, well, it's not easy to impeach a president, that's for sure.
Agreed.
But I think it's getting closer and closer to a reality, because you can't there are senators right now who are going down for the same thing. And if you're going to take down one politician, you can't have a double standard and not take down the head of the politicians that are behaving this badly. My only concern in all of this is, oh dear, I have low battery. Hold on, guys. I'm going to have to grab my cord.
Oh, sorry about that.
Of course.
I saw something that it thousand things. When you think about children acting out badly, when you think about children acting out badly in the world, I saw a video clip that really kind of fucked me up because it was all nonverbal. And what it was there was some kind of a political event with world leaders. Trump was there, and he pushed himself. He literally pushed other world leaders out of the way.
Oh, yeah, that was the G8 conference in Europe somewhere.
He pushed other people out of the way to get in front.
I think it was the president of Nigeria or some.
And it was just like see something happening in high school or junior high school. And I thought, this man actually physiologically moved another world leader, regardless of the status or importance of the company.
Yeah.
Physically moved him out of the side so he could get in front.
There. Yeah. So, I mean, really, this is long past, right? And not to bash the president, that's not our intention here, but I'm sick of double standards, and there's been a double standard going on for a long time. And if we don't do something about the president, then we set the precedent that it's okay if you're the leader of the free nations, but it's not okay if you're a senator or any other man in power. So I think we are approaching we're approaching a decision point here with this, and we're going to have to do something about it.
He never made available his tax records as of yet, still, right?
No, I've never seen them. You are all frozen, well, anyway. But we can hear you. That's crazy. Michelle's telling us that we're both frozen, but that may be just recent because I plugged my phone into the computer to charge. I don't know. So if you can see us or to hear us, let us know. Jason, I want you to pull a card for today because we missed being able to see that earlier. And we have the moon.
Yeah, lady.
The bitch is back.
We've been talking about her for quite some time. I'm taking a break tonight, having 2 guests on and doing readings only. Tonight we have Christy's Corner and we have the Chiropractic Corner. So that's just a little quick promo for tonight, 7 p.m. my time, 4 p.m. 2 minutes time. It's going to be a fun show, very lighthearted. I'm not going into the sun card just yet. I didn't break from that because I'm writing too much. My brains are scrambled. However, what I will say to you is this moon card, as we know, talks about disillusionment. It talks about distraction. It truly talks about distracting methods. It talks about deception. It talks about getting pulled into places where you are taken off of your track. It's almost like you had said, it's anything to defer or to bamboozle. Like, look at what's happening on center stage here. Look at what's happening on center stage here. But don't look behind you but don't look stage right or stage left. And that's kind of what's going on for the energy with today. It's our bitch, and she is definitely back.
Which I think is so interesting because we are in the lead up to the full moon, right? December 3rd is our full moon across Gemini and Sag, and it is a super moon.
Another super moon. I would like to bring in one sort of metaphysical thought on this.
Okay.
Which I think is important. I don't know what Michelle is writing. She's writing something on...
Well, she sent me a picture that said how hysterical we looked because we froze. And so I'm going to see if I can bring up the picture that she sent. And we can have a hysterical laugh. This is what we looked like when we froze. I don't know if you can see that. Well, you can't see that because...
No.
Oh,
but
God.
That's funny shit. Anyway, so the one part I would like to bring into this metaphysically, I think, which might be, is when we studied this card, we found out that basically man at this point has dealt with all of his earthly shit. He's gone into the pool of memories and he has righted the ship, as it were. In this card, which is not represented in this card, but in the old Marseille deck, which is the standard that I use, we see that at the moment of being able to cross over, the moon gives her bitchy attitude and goes, you loved when you were 4? Or don't you miss that first love of yours? And the moment in this development spiritually that happens, you get catapulted back. The real message at the end of the day is blowing the crap out. Blowing the fuselage out. This, my friend, when we listen to what's going on here, sounds a lot like fuselage being burnt out. The only way that we can to take off is to get clear of some of this shit. And this is definitely shit. And it's sad that my brothers have taken this position because they're so little dicked. They're so fucking ugly, or they're so disgusting on the inside that they cannot get a woman any other way. I'm sad for them that these little dick bastards have to act like this.
Yeah.
I could sit here and take the moral high ground and say, well, Janet, you see, that flower was a prostitute in that life. And he was, and I can keep going. Oh, yeah, you've heard that shit. I can sit there and justify this until the cows come home. My thoughts on that are get some fucking therapy, get with the program in 2017. It's going to be 2018. So, this says to you, go ahead.
I was going to say, in a way, these men are playing a role that they've agreed to come and play. And as sad as we might interpret that this has happened, or as gleeful as we might be that this has happened, they're doing their jobs, right? Just like I've always said about Trump, he's doing his job. He's doing what he came here to do. And, bringing this to attention, they're the sacrificial cows, if you will, that are taking the hit so that this whole mess can be cleaned up. And in that respect, karmically, that's what they were here to do.
Exactly, and that's when I heard you sort of in a desperate attempt to not throw yourself into the lake where you live when you found out that Trump did get elected, and I remember that moment. I remember you're such a good egg. You're such the good witch. Trying to spin it positively, like, this is what needs to happen. This is the man who's going to herald in these changes. We all signed up for it, and you know what? We absolutely did.
Yep.
I'm going to send you something, Janet. There is a lady who has been suffering her whole life with a mental disease, with bipolar.
Yeah.
And she's an actress. I'm going to send it to you, and she reminds me when I give this to you, I'm going to say to you, think of a white version of this as my mother. I showed it to my sister.
Uh-huh.
The way the nostrils flare. Well, basically, she's talking about Donald Trump, and it's a quick thing because she's trying to make the country understand that he has a mental disease.
I would agree.
And it's quite interesting to listen to this pretty well-known actress talk about. I will send you it. It's also kind of funny because she's like me. She's very, very foul-mouthed.
Well, send it on.
And she said, sweetheart, she said, and darlings, she said, not just fucking up this country, he's fucking up the world. But you know what she said?
What?
I'm not mad at him. She said, I'm not mad at him. I'm not angry at him. We had Obama for 8 years. God bless us. Now those people, she said, and I don't feel mean and angry towards the people that voted for Trump. God bless you. Now you have him for 4 years. So we had our time. Now you have your time. Let's see how this goes. And she goes on. She goes on from there, and it's quite something, Janet. I don't understand how much more needs to endure.
Yeah.
Before it really becomes. This is not a joke. Now, I am not enough of a historian to talk to you about all the presidents that have come and gone, the ones that were devout alcoholics, the ones that lasted 1 day in office. That's not my job. But I have to say it's pretty amazing that what you predicted has come true, and it's continuing to happen. And it's as if without this breaking of the skin. So the Greeks have a saying that doesn't translate well. It talks about a pile of dog shit on the street, and how shit after a while will create a skin as it begins to deteriorate. So that's the way nature works. My mother used to say to me in Greek, but how it's translated is, don't break the skin on the shit. It stinks. It's a very interesting interesting thing. Don't break the skin on the shit because it stinks. And my friends, we have definitely stepped in it. And we haven't broken the skin. Because when I think of Charlie Rose, who I actually got the chance to work with, who was an insane alcoholic at the time. I mean, I can remember standing next to him. I was doing a gig right next to him where he was filming. He came into this little deli. He breathed on me. My nose hairs were burning. I was like, wow. And, you know, this is something that I very much respect because he was only Channel 13, you know, the channel of intelligence. Anyway, I digress. So it'll be interesting to see what more bullshit comes out. What gets me, Janet, is the audacity to think that it's not going to come out some way, somehow.
Someday, right? All shit rolls downhill and it's gaining speed.
And you know, here's the other part. The other part is that, okay, let's be honest. Up until the point that shit really started to come out about Cosby, let's face it, he was a beloved character. This is a man that I watched in the 80s as a kid, growing up, doing stand-up comedy routines, doing pudding pop commercials, being goofy and making goofy noises, and being beloved by everyone.
Yeah.
I mean, so, you know, folks, they're not all dickheads out there, is my point. And that doesn't mean that they don't have problems. That doesn't mean that they're not doing the right. What I'm trying to say is, you know, you look at somebody and think, oh, there's a schmuck. You know, and a schmuck does what a schmuck does, hence our president. Here's Matt Lauer. Ooh, that's surprising. Was it surprising about Weinstein? No. It is, however, these people that are putting up a front in the public of being an upstanding, whatever that word means. You know.
Yeah. Being of a quality of character.
For instance, I remember when some of the bullshit came out about who was that wonderful comedian who took over for this is terrible, I can't remember. The man who took over for Johnny Carson. Not Jay Leno, but the other guy. Famous television night, and he was accused, and he came on the air immediately, remember? And he apologized. He said, you know, he was a younger dude. He was stupid. And blah, blah. But do you remember the night show television host? What was his name? Very famous dude.
I don't know. All I can think of is Conan O'Brien, James Corden.
He's the older set. He was during the time of Jay Leno. He was the other guy that was on during time of Jay Leno. I mean, as famous can be. But
Johnny Carson?
No, after him came Jay Leno. But on the other station, there was the guy. You know, he would do the top 10 count. Jay Leno. No, not Jay Leno. The top 10 countdown.
I don't know because I never watched those shows.
Well, okay, very, very famous dude, and I will come back to you with him. But he had a little oopsie with a sexual thing where somebody came out and he said, "I admit to it, I was a schmuck, and it never happened again." And I'm not saying that excuses him. Maybe there should be legal things, but you can see the difference between how certain people handle it.
Yeah.
There was hardly any backlash at all.
Did he stay on the air?
Yes, and I'm trying to remember. He's the one that Conan O'Brien filled in for. Before Conan O'Brien was who?
Don't know.
He's the guy that had a man who played with him, his sidekick, the music guy. He had those small little glasses with a bald head. You know what? I'll think of it off of camera. I'm wasting too much time here for everybody.
Letterman, David Letterman.
Thank you.
Thank you, Michelle.
Thank you, Michelle. David Letterman. Yeah, he had a whoopsie. And here's a man who's just like, yeah, I'm not perfect. I fucked up, and I probably should have done that, and I apologize, and whatever, blah, blah. But it blew over. It blew the fuck over. You know. And I won't lie to you. I look at somebody who was a Rhodes Scholar, somebody that I looked up to, somebody that I felt really had his reins around the minds, hearts, and of Americans. That was Bill Clinton, regardless of whether anybody else liked him out there. Mm-hmm. You know, you hear about that. When I hear about that with him, I'm kind of like, maybe if I was the president, I would get my cock sucked every day. That's a privilege, but that's just me being funny. When that came out, and there was all this like like they had gone over it with a fine-tooth comb, like there was this and blah, blah, blah. I thought, isn't that interesting? And yet, he continued to serve. He, if I can, for lack of a better term, said or did the right thing. I mean, I don't know any man who's able to say, yeah, I took a hit of a marijuana cigarette, but I didn't inhale.
I know that was pretty insane.
But sweetheart, he had us believing it.
Yeah, I never believed it for a freaking second. But what I thought was funny is that 90% of Americans out there, or I don't know, some huge percent of us have tried it at some point in our lives, and we wanted to, you know, take him to task for that. But, you know, different times, you know, here's the interesting thing is that it's like what I've said all along about the economy, right? So back in the 80s and the 90s, these things were happening, and we just band-aided it, right? We didn't really go down and take it to the source where we actually dealt with the issue. We just band-aided it. We slapped people across the face or slapped them in the head and, you know, let it go on. We didn't address the issue. And the same thing is happening. The same thing that is happening now, where all of this is just this watershed flood, is going to happen with the economy, right? We only took a Band-Aid and put the Band-Aid on this economy back in 2008 and 9 and 10, and we didn't actually fix the problem. So we're going to experience the same thing, mark my words, as we get into 2018, where, and it may take until 2019 and maybe even approaching through 2020, for us to see the same thing. These are issues that we've dealt with only by band-aiding, right? And they're coming back at us. We didn't fix the structure. We didn't fix the form. We didn't fix the playpen. All we did was band-aid it for the moment. So, right? You know I'm right. When we've done, everything that we've ever done half-ass is now going to come back at us and need to be fixed for real. And if we don't, we're doomed to experience the same thing again in another round of Saturn or in another round of whatever planet's triggering this. I think it's Saturn, because this is about a 30-year, 27 to 28-year cycle going on here. And we're going to pay that price. Uh-oh, I have poor connection.
Uh-oh.
All right. Anyway, well, so
I think we could wrap this up for today.
Yeah, exactly. We have interesting times we're living in for certain. Tonight, Jason's show, 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. East Coast time on Blog Talk, and it should be interesting. I love those two guests. And Jason. And I'm sorry that the video froze. I can see that the video's frozen, but I can still put up comments, which is bizarre.
Yeah,
and
weird. And I think this happened after I did my update.
Oh, now my phone won't even translate what you're saying. He's frozen. So let me just say for everybody, good night, good day. Take care, and we love you. See you tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. East Coast time. Bye for now.